representing Nadine Sutherland. Big up Kamala Harris, all of the Jamaicans. We are going to wave our flag. Vice President Harris, step up. Oh, yeah. Come with the action. Not a bag of mouth, she clean when she step in the White House. Action, not a bag of mouth, she clean. Vice President Harris, when she step in the White House. Come on, you're like fine wine. Jamaican to Indian girl, you're so fine. Your intellect is so intense. All of them watch her, them have to step back. Come in with the action. Not a bag of mouth, she clean when she step in the White House. Action, not a bag of mouth, she clean when she step in the White House. Come on, I'll go bring the action. Well focused, no distraction. Her chemistry with the people, they not go bring us justification. Come on, I'll go bring the action. Don't go quiver from their reaction. When she take it to them, in a them face, them not go have no counter reaction. Remember to go out and vote.
Make sure you go out and vote for democracy. Vote, even if you
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the Voice of Florida, where your voice is our choice. My name is Karen Green, and I want to welcome you to my first launch of this wonderful opportunity to get to see you, meet you, and also get to share your voice and your opinion, your voices, and just where we are in this world today. I just want to thank God first and foremost for this opportunity and all the parties that played an important role in this moment today. But more importantly, today I have the honor and privilege of not only being joined by one of my longtime sisters. This show is going to premiere different voices, different people, their impact, their involvement in the state of Florida. We will be talking about everything that matters: current affairs, politics, faith, culture, and the contribution and fabric of this great nation here on The Voice of Florida. You all know me, many of you know me to be long time here, long time reaching, long time touching. But today I'm focusing on our independence. You all know that I'm from the Caribbean region, but more importantly from the island of Jamaica. And today, as we celebrate the weekend of Jamaica's independence, I wanted to launch this show this weekend to celebrate that and the contributions and just the pride of our Caribbean region and Caribbean nation. This morning, I have the blessing of being supported and having the honor, as I mentioned before, of having my sister, my longtime loving liquor sister, Nadine Sutherland, in her own way, has been a superstar and a proud sister to us. And let me first say that Nadine, as you all know, is working so hard. She's been filming and she's off-site, and right now she's joining us by voice and live. Sister, blessed love and welcome to The Voice of Florida.
Thank you, Karen. Thanks for having me. I'm so happy to be here. I'm sorry, people, that I can't come live, but I am coming off a video shoot for 2 days of non-stop filming and dancing, and I'm very, very tired. But when my sister called on me, we just have to try to find a way. So I found a way.
Nadine, thank you so much. Today we're having one of those, we just played your contribution to Florida's, to United States democracy, not only for the democracy, but also because of the pride we share. This is not your first time round where you stepped out almost with a tribute to our sister whose lineage we share.
Yes.
Feels like having done this new cut. What does it give you? What do you experience? What was your feel? You pull this
Okay, so I have to tell you, people, I didn't do this new cut. This new cut was done for me. What they took was when the vice president thing, and they spliced out somebody who is very imaginative. Took out the vice, and you just hear president, which I don't mind at all. I thought it would have happened, and it happened. How do I feel? I am extremely proud not only of the lineage that we share with Kamala, because you can't share a lineage and you're just like, no, no, I don't want nothing to do with this person. So it's, apart from the lineage, I'm not going to say that was not a factor. It is, but I'm looking at her and her abilities to stand up as president of the United States. I look at her background and everything that she has achieved as the first woman, not the first Black woman, the first woman, in terms of her journey to the White House, of being the district attorney and, just being the first of a lot of stuff. I have watched her and see how strong she is, yet soft. There's a femininity about her, but she's a tough cookie. So I love that combination. And let's speak about her policies, her how she defends women's rights, and it's not anything that is new.
Exactly.
She has been doing this. So I've been watching her character, especially why anybody should make any choice about our bodies.
Right.
It has been relentless in holding on to that and pushing and advocating for women. It really was startling for me when I saw that Roe versus Wade was reversed. I
Well,
was horrified. I was like, for all of my life, I've been hearing Roe versus Wade. It's one of those things that have just stood with you throughout your life. And just to think that anybody could have, I don't know, the gall.
well, sister, we can attest to that because you and I know, as you said, we all came by hearing this, that there was a freedom for us to do just that, have a choice of our bodies, our health, and our decisions. But more importantly, my sister, this interview today, and we're celebrating our sisters' achievements in all ways. But today we're celebrating, not only are we celebrating your achievements, but we're also celebrating Jamaica's 62nd anniversary of freedom. Where we made a
Mhm.
decision. How does that make you feel, sis? Because it happened
I
before you
mean,
grown, but how you feel.
triumphant, proud, and free. I
Eh,
mean, we are a work in progress. There's no space, there's no place that there is perfection. There's a lot more ways to grow. There's a lot more ways to grow, but still, we have to give thanks for what the growth that we have had. And even I'm 56 years old, and I can see a lot. I've seen a lot of growth and positivity. Yet it's the funniest space that we're in. We're in the space in Jamaica that there's been progression, so much progress, but sometimes I'm wondering if we regressed also.
Well,
So
sis,
it's a space. Mhm.
like you, I share the same sentiment. I think we've a small island as we are, we've done so much in this world with our contribution, not just politically, culturally, but even owning our own identity, our music, our food, our culture. Everybody knows us, and people
Exactly.
know you, little Nadine. I remember you, Nadine, at the Tasty Talent Contest. I remember your dad. I remember the days when you'd be coming from above rocks in St. Andrew. Your precious
Yeah.
dad, another legendary guy. You went to St. Andrew High School. Many of us knew you from back in the days. I won't tell you how long I've been around you as well, but you're a sister with achievement. Recently, you received the honorary, reasonable, long time deserving princess of reggae music. I think that was so commendable. When you were here earlier in Florida earlier this year, we recognized you as well for your lifetime achievement of contributions
Mhm.
to the
And that
industry.
was that was so special, and I'm still in gratitude and thankfulness.
Nadine, we love you, we respect you. You are in all ways, in every honor, in every way we can actually describe you as being a real, not only a grown teenage star into adulthood, but one who's commendable, who's done so much observing, mentoring, and basically living a decent, respectable stardom life. That doesn't happen everywhere. And I just want to hug you and celebrate you. Not only are
Thank
we
you.
celebrating Jamaica, but we celebrate you. What do you have to tell other women, not only in Jamaica, but across the globe in our listening today, that just tell them what it is that makes you this woman that is so revered and respected in the industry?
I think one thing I have to say is that life isn't easy. um, sometimes you have to really just be, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And there's this adage that goes, "Let go and let God."
Amen.
And there was a time in my life that I really let go and let God. Um, it's sometimes when I look back, and December is going to be 45 years, and somebody asked me the question, have you ever said pack up? And I was like, of course I did. I came to a point in my career, I'm like, music done with me. And I accepted it. I let go and I let God. And I
Mm.
went and I'm like, okay, how I'm gonna construct a life right now with regards to that. I'm not making any money in music, but I'm living.
Mm-hmm.
How am I have a mortgage to pay. So I paid my way to get an education.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Mm-hmm.
went back to school and I got my master's. And in getting my master's, I was like, I felt better. My master's did a lot for me because it built my confidence
Mm-hmm.
outside of the music. Because nobody was looking at you have to deliver your paper and your paper them are for good, right? You have to go and do your research. No, but actually, I went at a disadvantage of being somebody who was popular. 'Cause
Mm-hmm.
everybody want say you're idiot.
Mm.
Everybody would love you to be like an airhead, and that I wasn't. I was smart, I was bright. I
Mm-hmm.
already learned discipline. I already had those, characteristics that is necessary for successful academia. But when I did my master's and got that paper, because I tell you, the first paper I carried to the professor, in fling
Yeah.
it back, give me and say no good. And it was not good. Never
Wow.
good. Never
Wow.
good at all. And it's a lot of stuff. I just when I look back at everything, I said, I think when I practice letting go and letting God, my life work out the best. I went, got a job. I'm like, okay, this is my new reality, and I was okay because I felt like I was training another generation in performing arts, and I don't
Mm-hmm.
even know, the other day when all everything started, just popping up. I'm like, look how me let go and let God, and God actually took me back into music.
Mm.
And it's almost like took me back into music from a different paradigm because now people are like, she's a master's educated singer. And I tell them every day, I say, if I want to do my PhD, I've been asked to do my PhD. And, it's just like I sit in the space and I'm like, look how me did really let go and let God. And just like, all right, God, if this is where you're steering me, I
Wow.
will go, but I'm not gonna go and sit down and twiddle my thumb because I have to make my life work. And God just I don't know. So it's success will take you I realize one thing with success.
Mm-hmm.
You have to work and
Mm.
you cannot there's no failure. It
Mm-hmm.
might be a redirection.
Mm-hmm.
It might be a time for you to recalibrate inside of yourself. But if you stay in a space and say that I have failed, you don't give yourself an opportunity to move. And in moving, I believe that life moves with you. So I always say to people, try never ever to give up. Try never ever to give up. Even if you're scrape, try do something. Never try to just sit down. Because to me, that is when you fail, when you just sit down.
That is a heavy, heavy admonition, my sister, and advice. I must tell you that your faith, you have been faithful. Even when you thought you were not fail, you were failing, you were still a hit with many of us. Because that song Action was always an action song for many. No matter what age you are, it still crosses all these geographic, demographic margins.
It
And
has.
action
And
is still there.
mhm.
Still there, sister. I commend you on knowing that education is on, in all honesty, was and is the foundation of all wealth next to health. But here's the other thing: you chose a career that was also going to edify others. And that in itself, my sister, is truly a blessing. Thank you again for even doing that much. I also want to take this opportunity to just share with folks that, this young lady was also, you have a blessing as well, Nadine, of having a father figure in your life,
Yeah.
a father that is one of the most inspirational good daddies I knew next to, well, I must say next to my daddy too, because yours was always physically there.
Always.
How is daddy doing?
Always. He's doing well. Even the other night when I got my crown in, he was right there. And the men who, from the old school dance hall knew him, bring him up. I spoke about it. I spoke about being protected, and some people had problems with daddy being around me. Had a problem with it because they didn't. They had disingenuous thoughts. You know, they didn't have any clean thoughts that he was protecting his daughter. They had some stuff that if I would never have this strong male figure, what they would have done with me. I'll joke all the time and say, enough of them I look on the mango and I wait for the mango for ripe. My father at the last go in there and say, touch the mango, make a chop you up, leave my daughter alone. I was young, I was vulnerable. I never knew anything whatsoever. I would be just easily like somebody would call me in a room and I would go, just not thinking that there was anything that would have, you know, somebody would have had some crazy thoughts or whatsoever. Having a strong male figure warded off a lot of those stuff, you know, where I was concerned. And I'm just so happy that daddy's still alive, that, you know, people in the industry, you saying this, you know, give him the accolade. And it's not only for me alone. My sister was here the other day from the States and she was in Discovery Bay, and it's a little thing by the ocean, and daddy was there, and you know, it was like, get back to Kingston. And I remember my auntie said the most profound thing: Glenn never leave for 24 years when Beverly they gone afar, and they think him gonna leave Shane and like a daughter. No, he didn't.
Wow. Nadine, we share so much in common with a daddy figure. I just want to say this morning rather, that I love him and give him my regards to me as well.
I will give him, and he'll be happy because, you know, my father, we tell everybody, you know, I say everybody, the woman, he's such a charmer. The other day, I carry him somewhere, and the young girls was like, your father handsome me. I like,
and the baddest dancer, you know, tell them, say, can't step like him.
Father stood up just like an incredible man. He's an incredible man. Not that he was perfect. We have had some imperfect moments, but from just like the big picture, you can say your what you did, your goodness so outweighs some of your imperfect moments. So outweighs.
I'm so happy because he is truly one of those guys. Yeah.
Yes, he is.
Guys, just you know, again, we thank the Lord for him. We thank the Lord for all our blessings. And before we get to this section, I just want us to both take a moment and just recognize and celebrate the independent flag.
Independence tomorrow. Big up yourself, Jamaica. I'm a Jamaican. I'm a son of the sun.
Blessed love to you, my sister Nadine. Thank you for joining me.
Blessed love, man. You know, so I'm gonna come through. Tired or not tired? You're not gonna ask me for this something. I'm gonna come through.
Blessed love, my sister.
Big up and congratulations. I just said your first morning.
I'm my first guest, and the show will go on. We're having a storm here, so we're not in studio, but we're making the best of what we have.
You're surely making the best. I mean, Debbie, as you tell me this morning, I was so into Videoland and also Olympics land. So yes.
Well, we just want to thank our athletes as well for representing her as best as they could, our athletes in Paris. And thanks again to all who made the goals and scored for us. God bless you.
Enough love, sister. You take care. Cool. Bye-bye.
Thank you again for joining us.
I used to watch BET, MTV, VH1. Now I watch Tempo, Soca, Calypso, Reggae Dance. Oh, don't stall, better get tuned in to the Tempo. Don't have cable, they got an app. Go to your app store, download that. Whether it's tourism, cuisine, or the social scenes, if it ain't Tempo, it's a rap. Who got the Caribbean views? Tempo. It's the latest in Caribbean news. Tempo. You tryna cook Caribbean food? Tempo. You know they got the music videos too. Tempo. Who got the Caribbean views? Tempo. It's the latest in Caribbean news. Tempo. You tryna cook Caribbean food? Tempo. You know they got the music videos too. Tempo.
Today we're taking a little vacation on the west end of St. Croix, visiting a seaside restaurant called the Beachside Cafe here at Sandcastles on the Beach.
The atmosphere is just wonderful.
You just feel very welcome when you're here.
Hi!
I'd like to introduce Chris and Ted, who are the owners of Beachside Cafe and also Sandcastles on the Beach. This is amazing!
Thank you. Sandcastle on the Beach is quiet and friendly, relaxing.
I often entertain guests, and this is the one place I always try to bring people.
Tell us a little bit about the hotel.
Well, the hotel is a 25-room hotel. We have 10 different room types within that. We also have, of course, our greatest asset, the ocean out there, which our side of the island is very calm typically. So it's the best swimming beach and also great for snorkeling.
And just walking, doing a nice walking beach tour.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Best beach access is right here, so we love them.
And we're also fortunate we have just up the way Sandy Point National Park, and then Frederickstead Town is just a mile away. Mm-hmm. And so we're really fortunate to be in this perfect spot.
For 10 years, the Survey of Household Economics and Decision-Making has tracked the economic well-being and financial conditions reported by U.S. adults and their families. The survey collects data on how people feel about their family's finances to help understand the effects of broader economic trends over time. Conducted in October 2022, the latest survey reveals that 73% of adults were doing at least okay financially, meaning they reported either doing okay or living comfortably. The share of adults doing at least okay financially in 2022 was down 5 percentage points from 2021 and was among the lowest observed since 2016. This decline in well-being aligns with broader economic conditions during fall 2022, including inflation and stock market declines. In economically challenging times, relatively small, unexpected expenses such as a car repair or a modest medical bill can be a hardship for many families. When faced with a hypothetical expense of $400, 63% of all adults in 2022 said they would have covered it exclusively using cash, savings, or a credit card paid off at the next statement, referred to altogether as cash or its equivalent. The share who would pay using cash or its equivalent was down 5 percentage points from 2021 and back at its 2019 level. Consistent with widespread experience of higher prices in the prior year, most adults said that price increases had affected their family budget. Adults with incomes under $100,000 were more likely to say their family budget was affected a lot by rising prices, compared to adults with higher incomes. Black and Hispanic adults, parents living with children under 18, and those with a disability were also more likely to indicate that their budget had been affected a lot by higher prices. Most people took action in response to higher prices, especially through changing spending. The most common adjustments were using less or stopping using products, as well as switching to cheaper alternatives. Just above 1/2 of respondents reduced savings. Increasing borrowing, working more, and asking for a raise were less common strategies. These survey findings provide insight into the wide range of financial opportunities and challenges facing U.S. families at the time of the survey. More information is available in the report on the economic well-being of U.S. households in 2022. To view or download this year's full report and downloadable survey data, visit federalreserve.gov/consumerscommunities/shed.
dawn's early light. What so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous height o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave a proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Welcome back to the second segment of The Voice of Florida, where your voice is our choice. This is our premiere event, and welcome to our first launch of this program here in Florida. I have the distinct honor of welcoming one of my birthland's honored, respected, talented brother, Steve Higgins. Steve is renowned for his voice, his abilities, his accolades, is well known universally. He is truly a pride of Jamaica, not just a voice, but an economic genius, a PR person, and one who I love, respect, and happen to almost share the same birthday. Welcome, Steve, to our show, The Voice of Florida.
Thank you so much, Karen, and congratulations on your launch. I know it takes a lot to do that, and I'm enjoying it so far.
Thank you. Thank you, Steve. You know, many of us we actually share the same state. We live in Florida. Yes. You're in South Florida, where it's a different continent from where we are, almost in Central and North Florida. But we share the same weather, rainstorm, hurricanes, and all the things that happen here. I am honored to have you here. I know you recently represented us in Asia, and I know you do this across the diaspora. But today, I would like for you to introduce yourself to our listening audience, not just of the merits and the accolades, but also just the work you do in representing and presenting our culture.
Okay, please. Well, thank again for having me, Karen, and good morning to everyone who's listening and watching. I'm Steve Higgins. I'm from Morant Bay, St. Thomas, and I grew up in church singing. And later on, when I immigrated to Kingston to do tertiary education, I met Dr. Olive Lewin. And as fate would have it, well, I didn't realize this at the time, but in pre-independent Jamaica, there was an anthropologist from the USA who was fearful that Jamaica would have, he was very interested in Jamaicans, all Jamaica's cultural expressions. Mm-hmm. And so at that time in pre-independent Jamaica, as I said before, he saw the prevalence of outside music, like from America, from England, Voice of America, etc., and elsewhere coming in, where you had the sound system competitions, etc. But then we had our own expressions, which were all oral expressions. So remember, our people came from Africa. And from Africa, we never had cell phones, etc. So everything was passed on. All our culture was passed on, our foods, our dances, our songs, everything. And so we had to capture that. And this individual who I mentioned as an anthropologist, he became the first minister of culture in independent Jamaica in 1963. But Jamaica got its independence in 1962. And I was born 6 days after, so I'm an independence baby. So what happened after that is that he chose this person who was a brilliant musician to go into the deep recesses of Jamaica to listen to the older folks about our foods, our songs, our dances, etc. This person was Dr. Olive Lewin. And so I met with her. I sang with the Jamaican folk singers, which she formed in 1967. And I sang with her for 23 years.
Wow.
And those 23 years, we toured all over. My first visit to England, to Great Britain, was with the Commonwealth Institute, where we showcased a lot of our Jamaican folk songs. We took that all over the Caribbean, all over Jamaica, all over America. And when I emigrated 24 years ago to this country, America, I promised her, she made me promise her that I would continue doing the work. So long story to say, what I'm doing now, I take it very seriously. I respected Dr. Lewin, and I even have CDs with our Jamaican folk songs. And you can get them at Steve Higgins Productions.
Wow. Steve, what did you say? Go ahead, you continue.
And so Jamaica's culture, our expressions, everything, it means so much to us, and it embodies. I also write an article in a newspaper called the Phoenix newspaper out of Birmingham, England. And if I may just write something about the Jamaican spirit, that is in the August. You can just look at the phoenixnewspaper.com. The ownership of our expressions, our fiercely guarded cultural identity, our sense of ambition to achieve, the protection of our human rights, our daring to be different and innovative, the fearlessness with which Jamaicans are known to approach monumental or seemingly insurmountable feats, that defines the Jamaican spirit.
Wow.
And so this is a part of the article, and you can look on my Facebook page. This is what it looks like. That's what the graphic that they did in the British newspaper. Just go on to Steve Higgins, Jamaican singer, and you'll find the article. But,
Steve, reading up would not even cover all that there is about you. I must just take this moment to thank you for continuing the legacy.
Yes.
Of the promised legacy you've shared, but just making sure that the world knows us from a cultural place, and your vocal abilities. God, you've truly blessed to have that as well. On that point, you mentioned from the Phoenix place, where we are. What is your opinion today of what is happening in your new homeland of the United States of America? Please explain to me the pride you feel, and or not, of now having the projected nominee, likely president of the United States, to be not from St. Thomas, but airing from St. Anne. Tell me, what are your thoughts?
Well, from one country bumpkin to another, which is what our vice president really is. That is why I read what I read, because the end of that article speaks to the fact that here we go again, impacting the world. Which tiny island with less than 3 million people you think has impacted the world, with people like Marcus Garvey, who has inspired people like Nelson Mandela, like Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Malcolm X, Bob Marley. All of that started with Marcus Garvey. Look at Harry Belafonte. Look at how we took our music to the world, and I could go on and on and on. And so we have our Vice President, Kamala Harris, for whom, and I'm very, very proud of her. And that's why I read what I read about our indomitable spirit. And so our motto, Jamaica's motto, for those who do not know, is out of many, one people. My mother's father was a Caucasian German. My father is a black man, just about my color. My sister looks like you. And so I have Chinese cousins. And so we can teach the world about getting along racially. We can teach the world about respecting each other's culture. And I used to be the director for MoneyGram International for the English, Spanish, French, and Dutch Caribbean. And so I can say bonboni to the Dutch Caribbean. I can say sac passé to the French, to the Haitian. I can say bonjour. I can say dumonwala chu to the Ethiopians. I can say como está acá to the Filipinos.
The linguistics of my precious brother, the brilliance of my brother not only goes beyond his artistry and his talent. Thank you, Steve. Listen, there is more to you than we can even touch today. But we're going to spend another 5 minutes just really focusing on where we are today as a Jamaican American, one who shares the legacy of just being engaging, mentoring, supporting. You're cognizant of the social and economic issues. But more importantly, you just touched a very interesting piece, that diversity and inclusion for us is part of our Jamaican motto, out of many, one people. And you and I know that we don't see nobody for what they look like, but basically for their achievements and who they are, right? We never have any kind of racial prejudice in our society. Primarily what we would have experienced is class prejudice to some extent. But we could list others who have also touched the world in leadership politically, such as Michael Manley, such as Eddie Siaga, such as Bustamante, having stirred the unions in Jamaica, Hugh Shearer. We had so many prime ministers, Norman Manley, who in all honesty, and then from where you come from, out of Morronby, there was Paul Bogle, who was also a revolutionist and a national hero.
And didn't take rubbish from people who were enslaving Jamaicans. I'd like everybody to look at the Jamaican map from Morant Bay to the seat of government in Spanish Town. These people walked from Morant Bay to Spanish Town and burnt down the seat of government because they wouldn't take it anymore. Do not mess with Jamaicans.
Even retroactively, we're not supporting any arson. But listen to this. Freedom didn't come at a normal cost. Freedom for us in the Caribbean, who literally led the way for abolition with our nanny, our national hero, who fought the in my opinion, the stealing, colonized, horrible people who came to enslave us continuously. Nanny, our first woman in the Caribbean who became a historian, for us a national hero, who fought the British off. But let's go a little further. We went as far as in 1962, I think we led the trajectory of independence in the Caribbean region.
We did.
By becoming the first independent in 1962 on August 6th, which is actually tomorrow, the real Independence Day.
Yes.
You and I also, I'm going to laugh again because it seems to be the trend is that all of we born August like Jamaica. Hello.
I know.
But you don't have to put that in there all the time.
Yes.
It's amazing.
But if I may, I'll go back to the matter of our vice president. She has the fire in her belly. She's Jamaican. She has a Jamaican DNA. And so I'm going to call upon Jamaicans to support this Jamaican, because we tend to have a world view. You know, we're not at all. We don't have blinders on, and we look after each other. So I'm going to encourage every Jamaican to get out there and to make sure that your friends. It's not good enough for you to say I voted. Get 20 people, get 50 people, and go out and vote and support.
I want to expound that a little more to say that Kamala Harris not only represents Jamaica, she represents the Black woman. Every Black person in this country who is of, you know, it's not that she's one of those people who, if you think of it from a Jamaican standpoint, she literally bears 3 genealogical traits, which would be the Indian community or Black Americans, and in all honesty, an African descent. And so we cannot, not only does she represent multiple faiths, her Hindu faith, her Christian faith, her Jewish faith in her husband. Let us just say that it is truly the melting pot of our cultural experience.
It is.
But it is not just about our culture today. I think we are at a point, and this show is not always going to focus on political margins, but it is really about freedom. And today we're talking about a country or world, a free world, that needs the freedom to be protected, and not for us to reintroduce any kind of colonialism, to introduce any kind of dictatorship. We want to maintain the fight, the struggle, like you rightfully said, the civil rights leaders of our own lineage who fought to help implement and support civil rights movements here in America. They led in supporting that, as well as our sister Shirley Chisholm, who, like us, was from the Caribbean island region as well. Here it is, we are today. And ladies and gentlemen, everyone in our listening ear today, we're encouraging you to participate in democracy.
Yeah.
We're encouraging you not only to take people to vote, but to encourage them to register to vote.
Yeah.
Particularly here in the state of Florida. In the state of Florida, on August 20th, we have our primary elections, which means you get a chance to vote for our state representatives or municipal candidates and folks within the state. It is important. Steve, you just said it. The commitment to take your friends, your family to the polling station. But here's where we have a task, Steve. We need to make sure that all of them go register to vote. And
we need to do that right now.
And those who have registered and haven't voted for a while, need to understand that in the state of Florida, there is a purging process. If you haven't voted in the last recent elections, it is imperative that you go and register to vote, because sometimes illnesses, age, geriatric conditions change your signature to change. And
sometimes people are kicked off the list and they don't even know that they're kicked off the list. But then another thing about Jamaicans, wherever I go, you mentioned earlier on my journey. I went to Japan recently because Jamaica and Japan celebrates 60 years, or they commemorated the 60th year of the establishment of diplomatic relations. So I was flown over there, the guest of the ambassador, and we did a great show there. I did Australia last year, etc. So I'm representing Jamaica really all over the world. I've done, Brussels at the Flemish Parliament building. I've done Berlin. I've done London. I sang at the Commonwealth Games at the flag raising ceremony at Jamaica 60. So I've done a lot all over the world, literally. And everywhere I go, people talk about the Jamaican spirit. Yes. So Jamaicans, whether or not you know it, the world is looking out for us to make sure that our presence is felt in everything that we do. And it comes back to all we're talking about now, to get your people, or let it be said, that is the Jamaican passion that had an impact on this election, because we show ourselves. Look at the Olympics. We show ourselves, even if things didn't go 100% the way we wanted.
Let me just say this too, that you're so right. It is the spirit. Within the last 2 weeks, I must have, in full disclosure, I am, in fact, one of the delegates going in for soon-to-be President Kamala Harris in my capacity, in my Democratic role. This is not a political show per se, but I have to, full disclosure, I'm a vice chair of the Florida Democratic Party, and I am one of the whips going in to secure this nomination for president to be Kamala Harris. Let me just say this to you, my brother. It is the spirit that has literally re-energized a new demographic, a new range of youth and woman strength, and just the familiarity of diversity that we need to engulf and engage and make it happen. It is not for, we are a nation of immigrants. This country was formed, built, and exploded and expanded by immigrants. And we need to be mindful that all of our contributions, your cultural, your economic, your educational, and a vast area of what we do is part of the fabric of this country.
Yep.
And not only here, but as you rightfully said, globally. So today, my brother, as we celebrate Jamaica's 62nd anniversary, again, I did it before. I'm going to do it again. We're going to wave a flag because there is a pride of being Jamaica. Happy Independence, Jamaica, 1962. No, say it together. You say it, Happy Independence. No, hear what I need for you to do. The first line of Jamaica's national anthem. Do that for me, please.
Eternal Father, bless our land. Guard us with thy mighty hand. Keep us free from evil paths. Be our light through countless hours. To our leaders, great defender, grant true wisdom from above. Justice, truth be ours forever. Jamaica, land we love. Jamaica, 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 land we love.
Amen. Thank you so much, my brother, for joining us this morning. It keeps saying like afternoon because it's been raining so long and we keep seeing dark and light. But to God be the glory. We thank you for joining us today. And we want to pray a prayer for our nation, Jamaica, our sister, our nation, all the Caribbean regions that have also experienced their independence during the season. To our brothers and sisters in Haiti, we continue to pray for your sovereignty and your strength. To our national people across this globe, we will continue to maintain and do our part in holding the freedom line. Is that correct, my brother?
That's absolutely correct. And bless you, my sister. I wish you all the very best. God's richest blessings. I pray for your direction and I pray for your success. Thank you so much for having me. And I pray for your whole team as well.
Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, let me continue to say we've been honored to have this guest. As you know, this is our first our first premiere, our first event, first showing of the Karen Green Show, which is really
world premiere.
The Voice of Florida. And it basically says your motto is it's your voice, it's our choice. And we will continue to do that. We have a few minutes before we wind down this program. I want to take an opportunity to thank your viewership, your listening audience, and to my family, a precious love and family, for my loved ones. You know who you are across the globe. My sisters, my siblings, my mother, my dear mother. Let us just pray for all the mothers today across this great nation. I am so honored to have this opportunity today to be sitting here in this seat. For so many we've gone through so many changes in this world and in this life. But I also want to encourage you, like Nadine said earlier, never believe that your fall is a fall, because sometimes you need to crawl. Sometimes you need to crawl and be able to stand and recognize those who pull you up. Because your purpose in life is not just for your own standing, to bring others with you. So that when you get to that place, you can not only say, thank you, Lord, for making me a blessing to be blessed, but be a blessing for those who have been blessed by your actions. I want to take another opportunity to say to those who are in our listening ear, I cannot leave this media this morning without saying, you have an opportunity. Because when we talk of your voice, it's not just what we hear from you, it's your actions. Please, to have a voice in any country where there's democracy, and even when there's not, voting is our greatest opportunity to have a voice in this country, these United States. And so I encourage you again today, whatever you're doing, if it's not raining, please go to your public libraries, your supervisor of elections, wherever you can go to register to vote. It is your right. It is not just your right. It is protecting not only society as we know it today, but our generations to come. The freedom of our children and our grandparents' protection. Even right now, my brother, as we sit here with a storm brewing in some places, we want to pray for those who are in the path of the storm, that they too will have a testimony of goodness and survival, and that we can come back together and recognize that there's an environmental crisis that we have an opportunity to support within this new electoral process. I will be here again. Let us just we'll be promoting the upcoming shows. You'll be having great guests, not only from my Jamaican diaspora, but across the globe, and those who live in Florida or whose impact affects the state of Florida, whose voice literally gets to be shared here. We'll be here every Monday at 10 a.m. and every Wednesday afternoon from 3 p.m. I have something special to share with you as we go on going forward, but know that your presence and your voice is always welcome. Again, this is the Voice of Florida, where your voice is our choice. Thank you.